live. So,
That's nice.
welcome to Lake Effect Podcast, MISU Podcast, Episode 1. I am Lilac, aka Parker, and I am here with.
Me, Hard D. You know me as Rodrigo, part of MSU. Really good at the game. Bro, we cannot hear you again.
His mic got
That's funny.
muted. Oh my gosh.
All right. That's crazy.
Dude, we had this fixed.
All right, we're here with Spectre 2.
Okay.
Ian Envious,
Spectre, go.
aka the nurse that cannot turn on his mic.
Spectre, go to voice and video and click the right mic again.
Yeah, it is. We've been having problems with like his mic for a minute, so it's kind of funny that that's work. It started working and it stopped working again.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that, guys. I'm sorry.
I'm Spectre. I'm an Oakham player.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, that's good.
Thank you for joining the podcast, Spectre.
What?
Oh, we can hear you. We can hear you. We can hear you.
Yeah. You're good. All right. All right. Now that that's all the way out of the way, you might notice that someone is not here. Finesse is currently in Maine. He's out of town. But he told us to truck on, get the podcast underway because there's a lot of stuff we want to talk about. First off, the first thing we wanted to talk about is how's everyone doing? Archie, how you doing, man?
Man, I'm doing pretty well. We're finally like in this like off like week that we have, like it's spring break. It's been doing really great. I've been having time to like hang out. Not only that, but also to rest. I've been having like I had a long week last week with like a lot of exams and stuff like that. So it's still really nice when I have like time to rest and time for myself, you know?
Yeah, you guys are in spring break, right?
Yeah, for me at least, yeah. I'm pretty sure like Oakland is like a different case, right?
Yeah.
Bro.
Dude, his mic is not working again. This mic.
Try to join. Is it like?
Try.
join with your phone. Put the mic on, bro. He just turned off. Oh, he's changing. Nah, it's nice. It's nice. It's part of it. It's part of it.
Fine,
Especially the first episode. It's really nice to just have like the whoopsies.
Yeah, it's the first episode, guys. So technically, issues are going to be expected for the first one.
Yeah, and also like this is supposed to be like talking about like the topics of like what's happening in Smash, what's happening like in Michigan, and stuff like that. Also like tournaments and stuff. So having a couple of whoopsies, it's all right. It's just.
You guys hear me?
Yeah, we can.
I can hear you, but we cannot see you. I kind of want to see you.
My God, this is.
You actually sound better on your phone than you did on your PC. So.
Okay.
You don't have to put your camera on for this first episode if you don't want to. We can just figure it out.
Oh, you can do it.
No, wait, I got it.
You look better too. You look like brighter.
All right.
Heck yeah. Screw the headphones.
All right, we'll just roll with this.
Okay.
Spectre, how are you doing, my man?
So I'm okay. You know, Smash has been going good. School's been not as good, but like, yeah, we had break last week, so we're back in school. I think Oakland and like Wayne are like the only two schools that had a break last week. But I think everyone else is on break. But I'm doing good. I'm doing good.
That's all right. Awesome. So we have a few things we want to talk about. First off, we're gonna do some recaps of some big Michigan Midwest events rather that happened. First off, we're gonna talk about Olympus, and for those of you guys that don't know who won Olympus, Anand of course won that tournament, pretty uncontested for the most part, but he wasn't the only one who had a good run. There's a lot of good players, but I think the first time we're going to talk about it is just how good Anand is and how big of a gap there is between Anand and the rest of Michigan. And Archie, since you got the closest to playing against him at that tournament, do you want to lead us off in the conversation?
Yeah, I believe that it's like not really hard actually to like envision like how much better like Odin is. Like you can see it like almost. Obviously one of the first things that I had like with him, one of my first conversation with him was that I think they were playing Wilf, and they were calling out every jump
Yeah.
they had. And it was like funny because like they were like, "You're gonna jump here," and he would jump like every single time they would call it out. And this was LTUX 2024, and it was, for me, it was crazy. Like the whole envision of like how good a person can be, or like the awareness, it's like amazing. Especially with a player that's like so close to you, to like a certain, like to a certain point. Like even like, let's say like last season, like they were number one and I was like number seven. Like you can, even if it's like just by a number, it seems so close, but at the same time you see another number besides their name and it's like number 21, and that's
Yeah.
number 21 in the world.
Yeah,
But
it really puts into perspective too. The only other like top 150 ranked player in Michigan is Jaja,
yeah,
who is currently top 150. But even like
yeah,
even like on a mat head to head wise, Anand usually beats Jaja pretty easily, and it's usually like the other Michigan players like Rob and Dice have beaten
Anthony.
Anand, and Anthony have been, they have all beaten Anand recently. But like, I don't think the gap is that as far as some people might want to think, because a lot of good
Mm.
Michigan players have been getting a lot of great like world class wins. Like Anthony's been able to get some really good wins lately against Kaninabe and MVD. Um,
Yeah,
a suspect outplaced Anand at Afterburner. Jaja outplaced Anand at LMBM. So it's not, so there's like these spot performances of Michigan players getting a one up on Anand, but in terms of like Michigan events, I don't think Anand's lost a Michigan event to any Michigan player since in like 2 or 3 years. So
mm.
I am curious to see if it'll happen soon. But as for right now, Anand's on top. Anand's on top right now. Do you have anything to add, Spectre?
In terms of just Anand's dominance in the Michigan scene, not really. Like as you mentioned, yeah, like the other Michigan people, like they usually like outside of Onan, I think like the top six, maybe seven, including Dufault, have beaten a ranked player in the last year. You know, like Dufault, Rodrigo Ubiatata as well. Rob, Anthony, Adam, Jaja, all those like 6 or 7 of you have really, but like Onan's just like so consistent with it, and
I believe it is different, like totally, like that they are better than you, that like Onan is better than you, but it's closer. Like you can like see like the world scenario, like the world stage that Onan like normally is in, and you can like feel it close. Like when you like have these wins, and sometimes like as like you said, Parker, that like some people just like directly outplace Onan, like that type of stuff like makes you feel that you're closer skill wise. And like Michigan tournaments, this obviously has not happened yet, of like on and like losing to like any one of like as the Spectre said, like those like six. But still it is crazy to like have someone like on and like in the state.
Yeah.
yeah.
All right, I think we got that out of the way. There was another run that was maybe even more impressive than Anand's win that tournament was belongs to our very own ArcD, who had an eight set losers run. ArcD, do you want to tell us a little bit about that?
Man, when I lost to Avian, when I lost to Pablo, I remember having like a conversation with I don't remember if it was Cal or if it was Quirin. I think it was Quirin in particular. And I said, man, I think this is over. And then Cal like approaches me and says, hey, your path is actually not bad. And originally I thought I have to beat Rydra, I have to beat Rydra, I have to beat Grease Almighty, and I have to beat like at the time I don't remember who exactly, probably Hawk. But then like a lot of things happened, and even though like I had to beat Grizz Almighty, I'm pretty sure Dilster beats Rydra ending at 17th.
Yeah.
If I'm not wrong, in Olympus.
Dilster
beat Rydra. I was behind that set too. Rydra loses to a Ding Dong at 60% when Dylan was 170 at least. Like if we talk about like heartbreaking losses, that's like one of them, like 100% of the times. That gave me like the DK bracket, which is like always nice to have like DK
Yeah,
versus
as a
Palu.
Palutena man, I mean, like, oh yes,
Yeah.
let's get it.
Yeah, like even though like Ridley's like it should be like as good as like DK into like certain points. The thing is that Ryder hasn't beaten Louis Buddy before. Even though like our last like two sets have been like my favor, it's always like there like in my subconscious mind, hey, this person has beaten like probably the best Palutena in the world before. So he has this like confidence, especially in these cases. And then like Symphonies, Bilster, and obviously Comet. I'm really happy for the Comet win.
Yeah,
Comet,
I imagine you
you
are.
don't know, like, yeah, I hate Fox. I really hate Fox. I have like a really evenish record with Mr. Monday. I remember like when I was just like starting 2023, I was losing to every other Fox like almost without a doubt. I'm happy to have like this big win over Comet. Comet is like a great player, like as a whole, and I really like how he plays too. I believe that he also plays in a way that I really like because it's really easy to exploit on how I play. I'm like kind of like an aggressive player at some kind of way, and like he approaches me, and at some and like in some way I was like, yes, come to me, lose. I have like 2 combat games too, so still Comet is an amazing player. I really hope I get to play him more. And then the Rob win, we always go back and forth. I think like our set count is like 8-7 right now, or 9-7 if I'm not wrong. And obviously my finally win on Jaja. Oh my god.
Was that your first
matchup
time beating
is
Jaja?
second, which is kind of crazy. The last time I beat him was in like the last iteration of Midwest Battleground, which was the Midwest Esports Invitational.
Oh,
So
yeah.
like a year ago then.
Yeah, like a year ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, like 10 months ago. A year ago, yeah. I wanted to not make it that bad. But after that, he took like a lot of sets of me. And that matchup is cheeks, which is like kind of surprising because Kirby is bad. I don't want to like, even though like I like to think to myself, oh yeah, Kirby's good. That's why you're losing. It's more of like,
I think it's more so just like
mean?
a
Like,
Jaja is like insane type thing, but
no, Jaja is insane. Like him and Gohyu have like brought like Kirby to like certain heights that I didn't imagine. It's to the point where I'm pretty sure Kirby has like more B tiers last year than like real characters. I'm like
Yeah.
real characters.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
Jaja and Gilhu's like combined results are better than like what's a lot of like top tiers results. Like they are high tiers. You know what I mean? Like it's kind of crazy how much work they put into that character. And because I don't think Kirby's like that amazing either. I think he's just like a pretty solid. I think he's like a decent mid tier. It has like a really specific niche in the meta. But he's but I don't, man, like Jaja and Gilhu make him work.
Yeah.
I think Kirby's definitely gotten like a little bit better. Like the majority of Ultimate, he's been like low tier, like just low tier, and he's definitely like low mid tier now.
Yeah, without a doubt, at
At
least
least close to it.
Especially like there's like so much like niche usages of like how you play Kirby as a whole. And there's like this like interaction, especially against Palutena, that like the crouch. Like Kirby crouching, I cannot touch that guy. I cannot touch him.
You can't grab Kirby while he's crouching, right? So.
Oh, sorry?
You can't grab Kirby while he's crouching, right?
I cannot grab nor dash attack, which is really funny. I cannot dash attack.
What can you hit him with? It's just like down tilt, forward tilt, right?
Down tilt, forward tilt. Both of them, by the way, minus like 25. Like,
I see you go for like down airs sometimes, right?
I try to go for down air or the last hit of Nair, which is like, technically it's like good, but I have to full hop for that. Or go really slow towards him, which like obviously like not like something that is optimal, especially because like shield can go up. And Kirby has really great like out of shield options. It is more of like a matchup where I have to be like extremely patient and try to like exploit his jumps as much as I can.
Yeah.
And
like
after that, I
out him or something like that. But
yeah, it's kind of hard too because like normally Kirby makes you explode off stage. So like you like send me off stage, teleport like up Bs, have like 4 frames of vulnerability when they grab ledge. So like he had like 4 frames to like get it with a down air, and down air is really active. Like it's not like a whatever move, you know what I mean? It's like a move that you have to think about a lot. And even if I like try to like mix up my teleports, it is really hard to like go through it. And but finally I got a win with like a nail biter game 4.
Yeah.
If y'all seen game 4,
And a pretty important
I
tournament to do it
wasn't.
at too. Like that's a big win to get
Yeah,
there. And then
yeah.
so that win capped off your incredible 8-set losers run at Olympus. So, but now we got to get into the sad
Mhm.
part of it, which is your loss against Dice in losers finals. I wanted to get your
Yeah,
opinion on this too, mostly for the
man.
fact that you beat Dr. Curb, the Ohio Falco, a lot. But you tended to struggle with Dice. I wanted your thoughts on like what makes Dice's Falco harder for you than Curb's Falco.
Yeah. First of all, it's obviously like matchup like knowledge and like matchup like understanding. Like Curb, even though I believe an amazing player, one time in the Pennsylvania one, this tournament called the Return of Nathaniel, also a C tier, he showed me like a whole like notebook with like a lot of like notes of like many players, including myself. And when I had to play him in like that same tournament, I was really scared. The game 1 was actually really great for Curb. I believe Dr. Curb in particular is like a player that you really have to respect. Like in like any situations when you have already played him, he's gonna try to get you. And I think that it's a type of player that has to take its time to like actually like get in a position where he can like beat you consistently. But Dyson is like another thing. Like Dyson is in another. I don't want to say. Okay, maybe I can say like in another level of like understanding of Palutena,
Yeah.
and not only like on that, but also about like his recognition, like Dyson's patience, how he like like how he like approaches neutral. In my opinion, is beautiful. I really love how like Dyson plays. Also, like it helps a lot that like Dice plays in a way that really exploits Falco. Falco is so broken. I just needed to
Dude,
say it.
I
Falco is
agree.
so
Falco is
broken.
messed up, and I'm tired of people like sleeping on Falco in 2025. Man, that character is
Yeah,
insane.
I don't get it. But like up till back air at like 80% kills you. Down air, okay, down air back air kills you at 70. Like you have a lot of stuff that like for real like makes Falco such a good character,
Yeah, dude.
and he knows how to use it correctly. And
Yeah,
especially he doesn't only have like experience with me, also he has like experience on Druish. And Druish also like a really notable Palutena without a doubt.
yeah.
Uh,
All right.
And like
And you're both very different. Like you play pretty much opposite. It feels
yeah,
like polar
he plays
opposites.
there was like a saying before, like before that, like if I had like Drew's neutral, I would be like great, like great. I believe that there's a moment where we like part ways in the way we play Palutena, but still, I believe that we're both really good with that character, which is like
Yeah,
amazing to have like two like views on the same character. But one of the things that also doesn't like help Curb is the fact that Ohio doesn't have like a Palu that's like notable like that. You know, like you see like the rankings, like the top 15 rankings, you don't see a Palu,
yeah.
which
That
is
makes
like
sense.
also really hard when you have to like play against this character, which is like still really good.
Isn't like the only other notable Palu in the Midwest Atreus?
Atreus is
Wait,
Midwest?
I think they go to school in Minnesota. I could be. I don't remember.
Mysterica
I'm
is
not
also in Indiana again, but
Mysterica.
they don't go
What
to
I
a lot
was
Oh,
outside of
thinking.
Indiana.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
Mysterica is also really great. I have not had the chance to like go to a tournament with Mysteriaca like on attendance. I think still like I would love to, and I'm pretty sure like there are tournaments that we're going to like eventually go together. And having like more Palutenas is always nice.
All right. Unless you have anything more to add on to your losers run at that tournament, we're gonna move on to our next subject, which is how sorry about that. How well Michigan actually did against the Invaders at Olympus. There's a lot of notable players there from out of region like Wolfie, Comet, Ice Knight, Aaron Baskin, and Michigan only allowed 2 of them in top 8, and Wolfie and Comet, and they only got 7th. So I just want to get your guys'
Yeah.
thoughts on that really quickly.
What do you think, Ian?
Um. Uh. I don't know. I think. Michigan, like the whole I don't know about like the entire PR, but just like a lot of the the upper echelon of Michigan a lot like has a lot of diversity in both like characters and kind like maybe play style a little bit. Like some of us are very campy, some of us are very aggressive, like you, Rodrigo. But like especially like characters, like you'll never find another like good Ridley player or another good like Kirby or stuff like that. Like a lot of diversity, which allows for invaders to have a very tough time when they come here.
Yeah,
To add
it
on to
is.
that a little bit, Michigan I think historically has done pretty well against invaders. Like the only person I can think of recently that did really well when they came to a Michigan tournament was Sir Dank when he went to Dissension where he got second.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Um,
he did do really.
but
Yeah.
even like at Pantheon, like Atada only got 13th, and none of the other invaders were in top eight. So like I think Michigan just in general is a very it can has a really strong home field advantage, and I think home field advantage is like an underrated thing in Smash just in general
I
because it's much easier to
agree.
I agree. I
complete an
agree.
event like half an hour away from you opposed to like driving 4 hours and then having to like go through the entire day
Yeah,
like after that drive. You know what I mean? Like
yeah, and not only that, there's also like like how, especially like if we're talking about like MSU type like regionals, like even though there are like other like really big regionals where like other like invaders go, like that in those places there's only going to be players. And like MSU in particular, there's going to be like those guys that go to the tournament because they want to have fun and spend it with friends. Those guys that are like mostly like casuals that just tend to go to like Spartan Weekly sometimes because it's like a free weekly at the end of the day, and they know us, like they know like the MSU players, they know the players that are like friends with like the whole community. They are going there, and having them like besides like your setup, it's like always amazing. I remember that when I played with Atada, when I like turned around, there was like a grand like group of people, and even though like I wasn't hearing because I had like my earphones and stuff, that's like something that's always there.
yeah,
Like it could always be like a factor.
Yeah,
yeah,
like crowds and stuff. Yeah.
Hmm.
for sure. And then do you guys have anything else to add on to that? And before we move on to the next thing.
Hmm.
All right, cool. And then the
Ooh,
last thing
wait. Also,
regarding Olympus, what's that?
wait. Also, I'm pretty sure uh also we had a lot of changes with not only bracket, but we had like always like face to faces that were also from invaders. I'm pretty sure that like
Oh,
Iceland,
yeah. Like
like
we had to change seating multiple times because they were seated
Oh,
into each other. Yeah.
yeah.
yes.
And not only that, but at the end of the day, it like happened anyway. I'm pretty sure Astigmatism had to play like Aaron Baskin, like in like a certain point, or like
I can
certain players had to play
check real
like
quick.
people from their own place. If I'm not wrong, I am pretty sure there was something like that. Especially if you like can check Astigmatism, I'm pretty sure Astigmatism plays someone that was like
Astigmatism
from the
did have to
region.
play against Aaron Baskin and losers.
Yeah, which is
Tragic.
crazy, and that did not happen because of like a flaw in seeding. That happened because one of them lost early,
Yeah,
and that's
Yeah.
and that's just like adding to like the fact that like in like Michigan like defends really well from invaders.
mm,
Like the fact that someone on like early rounds of winners can like send down someone like Astigmatism, which is like still really high ranked in his state.
yeah.
Yeah.
He's number two in Wisconsin right now. I'm pretty sure. So,
Oh, that's
um,
crazy. That's
Oh, really? Behind Comet?
yeah, behind Comet. And then
hmm.
last thing regarding Olympus, I just want to shout out some people who got some good upsets at Olympus. Some under the radar runs that people may not have realized happened. A couple I had written down here are Picks and Symphonies. Symphonies beat Suspect in winners bracket,
Which is
and ended up getting ninth. Unfortunately, losing to Defoe and I can't remember the other person
and
he
me
lost to.
and me
Oh
and
yeah, RT. Yeah.
listen to this. Yeah.
And then
That's
Picks
bad.
got some really good upsets against. Let me check really quick here because I should have wrote this down.
He beat
Symphonies are
Echo
quick.
Fire, right?
Oh, Pigs beat Echo
Or am I
Fire. Oh,
trolling?
right.
He beat Echo Fire and Von Stash and Nad 79.
Yeah, which is great.
Oh, yeah.
it is really like Pix Colin. I want to talk like a little bit of him. Like when he went to Italy, like according to him, he just told me that like when he came back, he said, "Man, I feel like I'm nasty at this game." He just like told me that, and like lately he's been like popping off. I'm like really happy for how Colin is playing right now. Obviously, like a great addition for MSU, and it's always great to like have someone like Pix always like right now a senior like having this like amount of success like in the late tournament, especially on Olympus.
Yeah.
I think he got 13th, only losing to Ice Knight and someone else.
Yeah, he lost to Ice Knight. I can double check really quick. I gotta check.
I'm pretty sure he lost to Ice Knight. I remember that. That was really funny because like Ice Knight like is like staying on Colin's room.
He lost to Defoe and Ice Knight.
Ooh, Defoe, you're right. That set was
Defoe is really
was
good
hard.
against Aegis, so I'm not surprised about that one.
Yeah, and Symphony's always a great run. I believe that I've heard Symphony saying something like, Adams taking out Kazuya against me would be exactly like throwing. That's like exactly what he said. Symphony thinks that someone throwing out Kazuya against him is throwing. It's like essentially throwing, which
He
is
plays
pretty-
Poison Jam all the time. Like every
Yeah.
week they played for a period.
Yeah, and not only that, Symphony's win like most
Yeah.
of the time. And Adam tried the corn. I'm pretty sure Dance took out the Kazuya.
Mm.
Still, Symphony's taking that set.
He
Really
won
big
3-0.
win.
Like,
Suspect
it was a tough
Suspect coming after like a great afterburner.
Yeah. All right. I think unless you guys had one to shout out any other runs, we can move on from Olympus. Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Now we're gonna talk about the real cake. About like.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Yeah, bro. I'm so happy about that Robbie, bro.
All right. Midwest
Like,
Battleground,
that's
and
Crazy.
you guys want to start off with some Rob hype up?
Yeah, without a doubt. Oh my god, Robbie. Like winning a C tier is crazy. I remember a tweet you made, Parker, about Jaja being like the only person besides Onan to win a C tier. Now Rob.
Dude,
Like Rob.
he's so good, man. I watched some of his run, and something that I drew away from him is that stylistically, he might be the closest snake I've seen to emulating Hertz playstyle out of like all the good snakes.
Yeah.
Apart from maybe Apollo Kage, because I think Apollo Kage also plays a lot like Hurt too. But Rob is like right there stylistically. Of course, there's like better snakes. You can argue like MVD and Islandus are still better than him. But in terms of like a stylistically, I think he emulates Hurt really well, and it's just super impressive because he went on a great run. He beat Ice Knight twice. He beat Sir Dank. He beat Atata. Like so, not like free matches for him either. Like
Yeah, especially like I'm pretty sure Ness Snake, like even though like some people would say even, it's like something that okay, man. Okay. I see.
No, I agree.
I see you. But I mean, even though
I tease him about that all the time.
no, even though like whatever it can be like winning for Snake or like even or whatever, it's still like the sole fact that he has Magnet and and Snake has Gradates just like gives a lot of like different interactions that like have to be taken account for like the Snake player, especially in such a run by Mr. Robbie. Like in my case, like when I lost to Dyson, I was thinking, oh man, it's like so difficult to adapt from like playing someone like Jaja to playing someone like Dice. Like my movement was trying to like emulate playing against Jaja, and like it wasn't working against Dyson. But then you see Robbie changing his style so quickly. That's like the type of thing that makes you win tournaments, and that's why Robbie takes this C tier crazy.
Yeah.
Great win. I cannot believe it.
Yeah, I
And
just
he's
looked it over. He
only
beat Ice
he
Knight
only played
twice.
against people that he hasn't played too much.
Yeah, he beat 6
Yeah.
Chicago PR players. Like no Michigan, just straight Chicago. It was
He beat
Right.
like the 4 horsemen of Chicago.
yeah.
Yeah, really. Like Sir
Two of
Dang,
them
Ice Knight,
twice.
Atata,
And
Yeah.
Raven King
and who else?
Atata, Raven King, Ice Knight, Serdang.
yeah.
Yeah, like the
They've
four.
been like the consistent top 4 of Chicago for the last 2 years.
That's crazy.
But yeah,
Wait,
huge
wait.
congrats to Rob on the W. Much deserved. We love you, Rob.
We love you, Rob,
We're
bro.
probably gonna see more of
Game
him at Good
recognition.
Took. That's probably gonna be his like next big tournament.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But moving on from Rob, though, the next topic I had written down here was it's just Chicago in general. I think Chicago compared to Michigan, I think Chicago is pretty on par with Michigan for the most part. I think our top level is slightly better, but you can just call me biased if you want. But I think their high level and their mid level is pretty comparable. I've gone to Chicago a couple times for tournaments, and that's kind of the vibe I've gotten, especially also from like watching them. And at that tournament at
Mhm.
Midwest Battleground, it was looking like it's gonna be a Chicago dub because they had three of the top four at that point in the bracket, and obviously Rob,
Mhm.
uh, one from Michigan, right? But
Mhm. Yeah.
Chicago, for the most part, I think
I
defended pretty
believe.
well for at
Yeah.
Midwest Battleground.
Chicago versus Michigan is really, really like in my opinion, it's really ambiguous. It could go to Michigan. Like, I believe it goes to Michigan. Like, I don't want to like, I don't like to sugarcoat some stuff. I believe that like Michigan is like better than Chicago and like
Mm.
player wise. Even though I believe that like maybe if we talk about like depth of like region, I believe that like Chicago could take like the win on that one because I'm pretty sure like when I went to like a Chicago tournament, I was fearing for my life round two. Like I was thinking, man, these people are great. Like even like their style is really good. Even someone like Colin like Pix, which was not PR like in Chicago, has like evolved like his style to the point where like now he's in conversations of being PR without a doubt.
Yeah.
And I believe that Chicago, if we see like our top, we see like Onin, and we had like Zenodo too, and they have Atara, and they had Ned,
Mm.
and now they are like the Danks, the Ice Knights, the Raven Kings, which like I believe they're like amazing players. I don't think that they get to the point where like they win a B tier like Jaja,
Mm.
or they are like getting 25th at Genesis, getting wins on Kaninabe, which is like great, amazing. Like I just believe that our peaks are higher into like certain point.
Yeah. No, I think that's completely
I
fair.
I have a few things to say about it because I've been to Chicago
Mhm.
for this summer. I went to Chicago for 4 whole weeks and went to every local. Last year I went for 2 whole weeks. I've seen
Mhm.
like a decent amount um of like what they have to offer, and I think definitely right now, at least, I think right now, like the top 10 level of each state, it definitely goes to Michigan. But I wonder, because just like we have like Zenodo or like Low who don't compete anymore. Low still competes, but like Zenodo or like Kenshi was top five like
Mm.
4 years ago or something. They had Sam T Silver and
Sam.
Aiken. Sam T, Aiken, Toad, I think used to be like
Yeah.
top three consistently years ago.
I forgot about Sam
Like they have a lot of like kind of veterans that were at the top of their game, but now they don't really play anymore. And then like like
sure
their mid level as well. Like
for a minute.
huh?
I'm pretty sure Icon went to like France for a minute, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
cruising.
I don't think I think I can only ever went to like one local in Chicago. It doesn't really go to anything except majors.
Mm.
But like that, it just like goes to show that like they do kind of have like a lot like below the surface going on, you know.
Mm.
And
You know, it's
I
just
feel
like the tip
like
of the
our
iceberg that you can see.
huh?
It's like a lot of like we only see the tip of the iceberg for them. Like they have a lot of stuff.
Yeah,
under the water.
yeah.
So.
But I also feel like in general, some people might say like the mid level between the two regions is kind of the same. I feel like Michigan is definitely stronger because you look at like Michigan. I feel like because you look at Michigan, like we have like 30 people that have been PR in the last 2 years, right?
You're like actually
There's been a
right.
lot of people in that.
Yeah, and you look at Chicago, it's kind of the same. But and then you look at like between 10 and 20 each any given season, I feel like Michigan is just definitely stronger.
I think,
Yeah, I
Just
could
in general,
actually
'cause
see
like
that.
a lot of people that have been getting PR in Chicago recently would definitely lose to like a gatekeep in Michigan, and maybe vice versa. I don't know because I haven't played too many of them, but I've definitely played a few that would definitely like lose to Michigan gatekeepers.
Obviously, we have like those instances like Druish beating Raven King, on
Yeah.
Stampede 3, which I remember that was like the preseason of Druish like getting PR for the first time,
Yeah.
if I'm not wrong.
Yeah, that was a while ago, but that was still when like Atata, Ice Nate, Serdink, Raven King are all top 4. Like they've
Yeah.
been top 4 for 2 years.
That was the time where Raven King, I think, was number 1 or number 2 or 3.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that was like a big win for Druish. That was
Yeah.
amazing. I believe still that Chicago is probably like our sister or our like brother region. If we talk about like skill wise, I believe like even though like I believe that that's the closest competition we had like in the entire Midwest. Because like I'm pretty sure like yeah, I believe like we like Michigan and Chicago are probably like the top 2, like almost like undoubtedly.
I
agree.
I agree with that. I can 100% get down with that.
I
That was a great conversation.
Maybe like Ohio 3rd.
The other thing about Minnesota
Ohio's
we got to
2.
bring up is outside of top 8, and Michigan actually had a lot of really good spot performances. Avian actually did get top 8 there, getting some really good wins. Nad got
Such a
9th
hard
there,
player,
and
too.
Aster also
Dude.
got 9th there. And Aster most notably beat Death Spade, which was an insane win for him.
That's crazy. Like it's like Aster beating Death Spade was like a jump scare. I was like in my I was like watching like I was watching it like the VOD and stuff like that, and it's crazy like having like someone like Aster that sometimes can take like this amazing wins.
It's not like he's new
it's
to
also
like
in my
getting
opinion,
wins like that because he's been like wilds in the past, right? But as
he
of
beat
recent,
Wilds on like Big
Aster
House too.
hasn't been like getting wins like that.
Oh
and
yeah, he
just,
beat
like,
Wilds at Big House, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But as of recent,
Holy
Aster hasn't
shit.
been getting wins like that. So just for him to like get this like huge win out
Yeah.
of nowhere, it's not like I'm not like super surprised because he's done it before, but it is like mildly surprising to like see it
Yeah.
happen, like
Yeah.
for him to like get it done. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
but I'm
not
happy
only
for him.
that, but like, yeah, Aster forced the like one of the biggest matches that was Seed 1 and Seed 2 playing for 13th or 17th, because I'm pretty sure that Death Spade got like 17th or 13th, losing to a Tata that Rob also forced down.
That's
Yeah, it's really crazy. I believe Aster is like this kind of player that he can get those peaks. I believe that the only thing he's lacking is this consistency, where like, oh, sometimes you have to like go and play like your teammate. You have to play like Druish, and like more often than not, Aster will lose to Druish, and then it really depends. Like it's kind of crazy to me, like thinking in like an 80-man or like 90-man like regional, you beat Death Spade and get 33rd.
Yeah. I'm
Like,
looking at it right now.
yeah.
Aster wasn't even a top 32 seed at this tournament. He
Yeah.
was the 35th seed, which is just
Yeah.
crazy.
What did he get?
Crazy.
He got 17th, so a little worse than I thought, but he beat
Oh, he got
Akana and
17th.
Death Spade to get to 17th.
I remember that. Ikana is also a great win. I'm pretty sure Ikana's top 10 in Chicago, if I'm not wrong, or he was at least.
It kind of was top 10 like a year.
I think he's top
year and
15
a half
still,
ago.
but I don't think he's top 10 right now.
All right, that makes sense.
Definitely still really good though.
Still talking about that and talking about Avian.
I think Avian beat Dice for the first time finally.
Yeah, it's in my opinion, Avian is getting scary.
Yeah, it's certainly like after not playing for a while, and then he just shows up, and then beats Dice, almost beats a Tata, gets 7th at a C tier. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. Also, like he was the one that started my losers run in Olympus.
True.
Yeah, like in my like even though like I've already had problems with Avian like before, because like I don't like the min matchup that much, especially as Palu, but still like the proficiency of like Pablo's like Avian has been going like really great. Like it's been going from this min from like Oakland is doing really nicely in tournaments to I don't want to lose to this guy because he beat me last time, or to this guy is like a top 8 contender, probably top 10 this season, and like things considered.
He doesn't
Like,
go to like
that's-
too much
qualifies.
stuff, but when he gets his opportunity,
If he
he's
qualifies,
always
I
If he
hope
qualifies, I know he's watching.
I think I think Avian is putting up a case for top 10 PR right now, but it's just kind of crazy that like he doesn't go to that much, but when he does, he always nails it when he gets his opportunities. So, but yeah, congrats to Avian on the top 8.
Consistent
Really
player.
impressive.
Consistent player.
Yeah.
Also, I'm pretty sure another person that got like a great run was Nad.
Yep.
Pretty sure Nat got a good run in Midwest
Yeah,
Battle,
he beat
right?
Diego. I think he messed up Diego, and then he beat
He missed
Ryder.
Diego,
He beat
man.
Ryder.
I didn't watch. I didn't watch,
Echo.
unfortunately, but I think he 3-0'd him.
Yeah.
Let me see.
Nat
I'm gonna
usually
watch it
beats
right
Rydra, so
now,
it's
like
not
how
too
it was.
surprising, but it's still like notable when it happens. And then he also beat Echo Fire too, which I don't know what their set count is, but that's all like also a good win for.
They're 1-1 right now. They're 1-1.
Gotcha.
Let me see. Also, like we have to talk about Rydra versus Nad, which is like also like a thing that's gonna happen and happen a lot. Like he's like 2-0 over Rydra, like which Rydra is like a really notable player, even though he has not been going to like a lot of things lately. It's still like he beat him on Riptide, he beat him on Midwest Battleground, all of them big tournaments.
Both
Nat is Nat turning into like a big killer for like this big bodies. I'm pretty sure he also has a great set count against Hawk, if I am not wrong. Which is like Nad. I'm pretty sure.
He's beaten him once or twice. I think so.
Don't know for sure, but I imagine he's beaten a couple times.
I think I was wrong totally, but he has beaten him before.
Yeah, I know he's won at least once, but I don't know what their second count
once in a movement. I'm pretty sure I remember that like correctly. I remember that lucidly. That like Hog loses to Nad, and then like I tried to go Mario game 1, thinking, oh maybe, you know. Didn't work out.
All right. Any other like notable upsets or runs you guys want to talk about from Midwest Battleground?
What else is there? I'm pretty sure that like also I wanted to talk about the match of Avian versus Atada, and I wanted to talk about Anthony versus Raven King.
Got it.
Those two were like amazing sets, even though like they weren't like towards our favor, sadly. Avian was like holding on Atada. Like that was his win. I'm pretty sure that like Avian versus Atada was like it was one of the sets, you know?
It was like the set of all time.
Yeah, that was game 5. So yeah.
It was game 5 Avian's favor until he got nervous off stage and died at 0.
Yeah.
Or like 40.
I thought it was like 130, 120. I was like screaming. It was after that. It was if I'm not wrong, that was a forward throw into a jump, getting called out by a fair. PK fire, he's dead. That was over at 40%.
Yeah, Atada.
That was.
I've never been actually more upset watching this.
That was, in my opinion, the fact that someone like Avian can like be like almost not go anywhere and then like almost beat Atada. Like I almost count it as like beating Atada. I'm pretty sure like Avian's like route, Avian's like way of thinking. I'm pretty sure that before he was like a snake main, and I've heard someone telling me that like Avian only started playing Min Min because he wanted to make a point. That like anyone
he played Min because he said Min Min was easy, and then he got really good.
That's so funny. But like Avian's way of seeing like the game, beautiful. Like it's like even though like sometimes a player might not like get like the results that they like in my opinion deserve, like beating Atada in this case, I believe that like I really respect certain points of view of the game, like how people view the game. For me, like how Avian, even though like I would love to see him to lane like more stuff, I believe like how he plays is like, even though he plays Min Min, even though like hate Min Min, it's still like amazing to see like someone like Pablo play. It's really great. And also Anthony versus Raven King, that matchup looks cheeks. Like I could never think that Joker like just beats Cloud like that.
Yeah, that also seemed bad. So that must have been a really good set.
Yeah, especially like I cannot believe that like Joker beats like Cloud so like clearly.
I think
like there were like
it's not too surprising for me because I've seen like Jokers playing against, I've seen like at top of like Leo versus Spargo a lot, and Leo usually wins that. And
you're right.
I can just imagine like Gun is very hard to deal with for Cloud off stage, and Counter's really good in the matchup because Cloud doesn't always snap ledge for some reason when he up Bs.
Yeah. Also, I don't know like how good you can just like basically counter Fair on reaction, because like Fair is really slow. Like even though like really great move, really safe, it's a move that like you go like and then go down.
Yeah.
Like you have to go from a lot to a lot. It is a move that like basically you're taking a lot of a risk, especially with someone like Joker. It is something that like takes that has to be taken into account into the matchup, and it's something that looks really hard for Cloud. Still really great like performances from like the Michigan players, most of them. Adam getting fifth, like Adam Suspect getting fifth.
Yeah.
He got really blessed. Such a bracket, like beating Druish. I'm pretty sure Aster beats Death Spade. Aster loses to Druish, and Druish loses to Adam, which gets the initial like top 8 winners by beating two really familiar players and beating Poison Jam with Ridley.
Oh yeah.
Wait, you
What
did
the
that?
fuck?
Oh my god.
Poison Jam
Oh my
lost
God.
to Adams Ridley. That in my opinion, big highlight. I don't know if it was like to prove a point, because like I'm pretty sure it could have been, because I've seen like, because in that same VOD, when like the VOD finishes, you can see Adam stand up and you can see Rydra. You can see Rydra there, like sitting down behind him. Like
I remember sitting on stream, and then I get a text in our Oakland group chat of Amon saying, "I'm on stream right now against Adam." And I'm like, "Oh, okay. This will be a good set, whatever." I close stream to go eat a bowl of cereal,
Talk about that.
open stream back up in 10 minutes, and the set's over.
that's
I was
true.
actually like so confused.
It is so funny to think that maybe, just maybe, guys, like Ridley has some of a good time against like against Kazuya.
Yeah.
That down tilt Heike.
Adam is very adamant about Kazuya Ridley being even because Ryder's traumatized him a lot. So maybe that's just like just to prove a point just for him. But no, that's
Yeah.
really funny. I'm not. Adam would do something like that, man.
Yeah, you're right.
All right. Last topic regarding Midwest Battleground. Kind of a collegiate thing. Oakland beat MSU for the first time in the crew battle tournament. You guys know more about collegiate stuff than I do, so I'll let you guys take this one away. But
What do you think? Ian?
I think in the last 2 years, it's something like maybe 6 or 7-1 at this point.
Mm.
Definitely or
We
no,
lost-
2 because
Yeah, because we lost the set.
like 6 or 7-2. Yeah.
Yeah, like because we lost the set on like the Oakland Invitational. I remember that one. That we like that we like brought back on Grands, but still that's a set loss. That's,
Yeah. It was met multiple times at different events. I felt like it was definitely like a long time coming. I definitely this year I haven't been to all the events because I'm on B team, but I feel like each and every encounter, Oakland has gotten closer and closer until it finally, finally happened.
There's like a lot of factors in my opinion. Like Rydra hasn't been like playing that much. I still believe he's like in a great level, but that could like be like the closing thing. That like Nat playing in such a great shape. Robbie especially in the best shape in his life.
Yeah.
Like Robbie like in the greatest shape of his life. And I don't know, Anthony being Anthony, coming from Genesis, a lot of like probably confidence coming from it.
Yeah.
And Avian playing like he has been playing lately. And it is something that for me kind of hard to watch, like
Yeah.
I don't like watching MSU losing. It is great to see like the development of like Michigan players, especially because like at the end of the day, college crews are made to like, or like college like programs are made to like develop the scene like inside of like Michigan. It's always great to see like the rivalry still on, like, and it's not whatever. It's like still there. Like Oakland versus MSU is going to be like probably the biggest rivalry that we're gonna have in Michigan, like almost 10 out of 10 times, because of, I don't know if like Northwood hasn't been invited too much. I don't know about that.
that's kind of surprising.
But
I thought they were going to be at Midwest Battleground, but I guess not.
me too. I thought that too, but they weren't there for I don't know what reasons. And
I'm pretty sure Logan said their coach just didn't know it was a thing.
that's funny. I just didn't know. Yeah.
last thing before we move on from Midwest Battleground, I just wanted to show the stream Rob's pop off from winning the tournament. I should have shown it earlier.
I want to see that too. I remember that big scream.
The up air to
Dude,
catch
this
the jump
scream
off
from
of
Rob.
ledge.
Look at the
Rob
emotion on that
ends
dude's
it with
face.
a hard
Dude,
read.
love that for him.
That was the,
All
that's
the
the
boys
only
coming
time
over.
I've ever seen him
Himself.
pop off at a tournament.
Yeah,
That's
and
awesome.
the biggest one too. Like that's something totally deserved. Like so many emotion. I made a tweet about it, even though like Robbie also saw it. That like there's a lot of love like inside of Robbie's play.
Yeah, dude.
You can see that. You can see that. It is. There's like certain people when like they play the game and they like and you see how they play. You see them being like methodical. You see them being serious. You see them being like I don't know, maybe uninterested, like about like not only the game but what it like stands for. But Robbie's like the kind of player that I've never seen him like slack off that much. I've seen him going to like tournament after tournament, even like whatever happened, he was there. Since the start of like Rodeo 2, where he like almost beat Sonoda and got third in that tournament.
Yeah.
I remember that fondly.
Yeah.
And
I was at that
he's like
tournament
the
too,
type of player.
It's been so cool to seeing Rob's development as a player, like you said, like from that first breakout tournament at Rodeo to where he's at now, being like one of the few people you count on one hand, one of the few Michigan people to have won a C tier tournament. So again, huge congrats to Robbie on the W.
Incredible.
I love
Love
that guy. I hope that there's still more victories through your path, and I hope people follow you and also win C tiers for Michigan.
All right. So quick intermission here. We're gonna go ahead and just do some event promos for upcoming tournaments. Starting off with CMU 200. It's this weekend. It's got a $200 pot bonus. Arky, you're going, right?
Yeah. I am going totally, even though I've not signed up because I'm an idiot, but I'm going to sign up today when the podcast finishes.
All right, cool. Yeah, it's this weekend. Go to it. It's in Mount Pleasant. I don't know where that is, but go to it.
Yeah, in CMU. That's just like Central Michigan University. It's going to be a great tournament. Always a nice crowd.
And then March 15th, we have North Strongest 3 Kai. This is in Traverse City. This is Bry's tournament, actually. Bry's a cool guy. Been to a lot of tournaments. I'm actually planning on going to this tournament. Hope you guys see there. Hope to see you guys there.
Yeah, I'll see like what I can do.
Yeah.
Like going to North is always kind of like hard to get like a carpool. Still, like if I ever get the opportunity, I'm going totally. What do you think, Spectre? Are you going? Are you thinking of going at least?
It's like 5 hours away from me. So.
I've been thinking of going, but I need the Oakland guys to go with me so I can have gas money. But they never want to go anywhere because they're all bad and not grinders.
They're not grinders.
They're not. They're not.
And then it's really Michigan people that don't want to go up to Traverse City, but rather go down to Indiana. Overdrive is on March 15th. Also, there's some like good Midwest talent there, like Mysterica, Wolfie, and Dr. Kerber are all going to be there. Scrubbed Out and all those guys do a great job every time, so big recommend from me. And then some bigger Michigan events coming up. We have Diamond Dust 2 on April 12th to 13th. This is probably going to be at least a B tier because they have guys like DeBuzz and Shiny Mark already confirmed for the tournament. And then last but not least, Wall Purges on May 10th. This is my tournament. You guys all better go to this. You guys are all legally obligated to go if you're watching this video.
I'm gonna like Dissension was amazingly run. Rebel 1000 or Rebel 100. I'm pretty sure it's Rebel 1000 was also really great. I'm pretty sure that like it's gonna be a great tournament too. And Diamond Dust too. That's gonna be great. Diamond Dust 2 too.
Lots of great things happening for Michigan in the near future. Slight leak there, but I promise.
There's like a regional every other month next season, isn't there?
Yeah,
there's gonna be
I'm pretty sure there's also
I don't want to
coming.
like leak a bunch of stuff, but there's gonna be a regional happening almost every weekend in spring. So lots of great stuff to look forward to.
That's nice.
Okay. On to like some more major / meta stuff. We're gonna talk about one of the majors happened this weekend for NA, Cavalier Clash 6, which had Syrup winning the tournament with Ness over Sparko's Cloud, and then he used Steve for the rest of his run. But I think the main storyline from that tournament was that Steve is dominant, and I'm gonna pull up a tweet here from our guy Mike Liu,
Yes.
which
Our guy Mike Liu.
Mike Liu had like 3 pop-off tweets back to back to back. It was crazy.
I'm pretty sure he got like the one of like this one, and then like the one from Hero should be banned or something like that. With like the Boku clip.
Yeah, that was so funny. That was so funny.
It really was. I was there. I was like commentating. I was like watching my phone, like talking with Ned, and then like he streams, "Oh my god!" And I like come up on his. It was like a 30.
You can tell Boku does something stupid when like the face cam comes back and he does his little snicker. You can tell he did something stupid.
It tells you everything. It tells you everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
12 people, 12 Steves, right?
Yeah,
in
12
the top
Steves,
60.
and the next closest was Game & Watch with 4 reps, so...
Yeah, 12 to 4 is like a 3-time multiplier, which is crazy. That's a big one.
And this was an A+, right?
A+ tier.
No, only an A+. That's an A+.
Yeah, so it's still a major. That's
a big major. That's not like a small one. Like an A tier is different from an A+. Like that's still points.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I still believe that like even though Steve is like really dominant, or it's like getting to the point where it's dominant, I still believe that like the other options that exist that are like banning Steve, for example, I really don't think it's like doable. I really don't like the idea of Steve getting banned like at all. And the tournaments that have been like doing that, in my opinion, even though like probably one of like a really well run tournament, I'm pretty sure LMBM this year had Steve, right, or no?
They did, but Let's Make Moves Miami
Yeah.
last year banned Steve, and that was like the last big tournament that Steve banned.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure LMM, that one, and like the LMBM before that, like 2024, I'm pretty sure didn't have Steve, right?
Mm.
Yeah. I really didn't like it. I'm pretty sure that like many people will like go and say like, oh, like a hype top 8 and stuff, but like, oh no, I believe that taking out probably like a big chunk of the top 50 is like still something that takes out a lot of competition.
Yeah.
And even though Steve is a character that's like in my opinion really broken, I still don't believe that it is something that's like that worrying right now.
I have a slightly different opinion from you. I do think that Steve is a ban-worthy character, but I just don't think a Steve ban is at all. It's not really applicable for the Smash scene because you're pretty much just banning a large portion of the player base. Like Steve's players make up like at least like 5% of the player base, in my opinion, which is like a lot of players.
Yeah, it's a lot of players.
So if you go to as an organizer, if you go out of your way to ban Steve, you're blocking a lot of incoming players from going to your events, as well as players who like don't have a problem with Steve and want Steve players at those events through like competition reasons. Like that's the reason why like Zamba didn't go to like Steve banned tournaments, because he wanted to play against Steve, right?
Yeah,
but
totally agree.
I also just think that like Steve having 12 reps at a major, it's not too surprising to me because Steve, in my opinion, is the best character in the game, and him putting up best character in the game numbers is not surprising to me. I don't know what's your take, Spectre?
Yeah, I agree. I agree. I think the discussion has like the ban discussion has been like on off, like Omega on off for every other maybe 4 or 5 months for the last 2 years, and it's always something like you get 12 reps in a top. What was it? 128.
Yeah.
Top like
top 64. Top 64.
Oh, okay, 12 reps in a top 64, which is I still think that's pretty crazy. Or like the last time I think it picked up was when it was Ona Nicola in Grands.
Yeah, I remember that.
I think that was like the last major time people started talking about it. I still disagree with the ban because I think, well, I agree that Steve is like the best character in the game, choose to lose or whatever, blah blah blah. But I think banning Steve would be like, I feel like I think people should just grind more, to learn it.
That's a real.
I believe there's
until the entirety of NA grinds the game, and then if Steve is still 12 people in top 64, all right, then we're cooked. But like no one's grinding, so I just grind the game more, and then
I totally agree.
I think that's
I'm pretty sure like one of the things that's like kind of hard like to like defend to a certain point is planking, and I think that's one of the things that we wanted to talk about. I
I'll
don't
pull
know. I
up
believe
that
that.
planking tweet really quick from I think Adme. Let me get to that.
Yeah, I remember Light especially asking for like a planking ban or like a ledge limit or something like that. If I'm not wrong.
Yeah.
This is Adme's
Uh,
tweet.
Yeah.
Is there a reason why this isn't banned? I know the counterplay, but basically just saying that like planking is incredibly broken. And Adme's the one that got this discussion rolling. But then like I don't know if you guys watched Lights Out podcast or Tweaks Talks, but Light was complaining about Steve planking. Charles was complaining about Steve planking. So it's becoming a real
Char?
issue.
Charles.
No Charles.
And
Yeah.
then there's another tweet here which is basically just a planking counter guide. I'm not gonna like narrate what's happening. People, you can just watch it on my stream on the video. When we just keep talking while this is going. Do you guys think there
Yeah.
should be a ledge grab limit though?
I don't know, maybe like if I don't know how to explain this. I believe planking heavily broken. I believe light helped a lot for it to seem very broken. Like the fact that he like went for it once and died for it like at 0% because he went for like a random back air that didn't do anything for him and then like died because of blocks. I totally get that people would say, hey, maybe Steve should be banned, you know, or like planking should be banned. But like also there are stages where like it doesn't work.
Yeah.
First of all, that's first. That like PS2 doesn't work, Smashville doesn't work, and in Town and City it mostly doesn't work. Like it has to be like set it up for like a moment. You know that like a Steve is getting like you're going to like normally Steve's ban like the Animal Crossings. You know what I mean? Like they will ban like Town, they will ban Smashville, and then even if they ban like PS2, you still have like certain options. But I believe that the best, in my opinion, the best like outcome out of this is what like even though I don't know, maybe like the M2K solution, like bringing back Yoshi's story, bringing back Lilat, bringing back
Lilac Cruise.
Lilac Cruise.
That's my next tournament.
Well, that could be a great tournament, Lilac Cruise.
Yeah.
That would be a good name. But like, I still think that maybe the idea of like maybe taking out Kalos, for example, does it work in Kalos? I don't know, maybe.
It works on every
I
stage
would think
besides
so.
Smashville and PS2, according to that counterplay video.
Oh yeah, it says that like Town and City it works in certain situations. Like basically, it needs to be set it up. But like if it works on Kalos, I believe you take out Kalos, you put Yoshi's story, or you put like not only that, you're also like kind of nerfing Kazuya, which like I'm not against. I'm not against.
I also hate Kazuya, so I'm for that. I think the bigger
and
issue
taking
for
out
planking
like
for me is just like he gets free gold and diamond, which is actually absurd.
yeah.
It's just like, well,
Yeah.
I think I think the conclusion that some characters gonna have to come to when playing against Steve is just like, all right, well, I can't contest him while he's planking. I'll just let him get gold and diamond and just wait for him to fight me. And so you're just fighting like Super Saiyan Steve, pretty much just from the jump,
Yeah.
and that can get very overpowered at some point. I think like.
I agree. I believe that there's like other counterplay to it. I believe that like with Palutena, when like Char and when I played Char, like not only in Return of Nathaniel versus on Ring Out, when I played him and like he like put like the block outside and stuff like that, I would just nair it. Like my nair would like hit Steve, like would like hit the blocks, take them out, and send like Steve in like an angle, like even at 0, like in an angle where like he cannot just like put a block on me. I believe like multi hits might be kind of good against it. But I understand that like nobody, like not everybody has nair. But I believe Light had down air. Like Light could have done that. I'm pretty sure that down air could have like sent it like that other way because like he was like at 140. He could have sent it like out. Then like he could have had like the blocks and that was it, right?
Yeah.
Like that's
There's,
not a new reset.
There's like some characters that have like specific counterplay, like sorry, I lost my. Then Ness can pressure like PK Sunder. Pikachu can pressure with.
Yeah, I don't even have to worry about it.
Yeah.
But like not
That's
every
funny.
character is gonna be able to have good counterplay against Steve. So I think it's just gonna come down to how many characters have good counterplay and how many of those characters are actually good characters and not like the relevant ones, right?
Yeah,
Um,
I believe Snake has some. I believe you can just throw the grenade down with like good timing, it would explode. I suppose. I believe Sonic really just. I don't know. You
Like
could
in
just.
spring.
Sonic has spring, even though sometimes I believe it wouldn't hit, but sometimes I think it will.
Yeah.
What else? If we keep going, does Chef hit Steve? Like that's that's a question. Like does Chef
I would
like
think so. I would think so.
yeah? If it even if it doesn't, I believe like it, I believe Key could work. I believe that downer is like kind of like decent for counterplay because like you cannot block Game and Watch. You cannot like do that. Maybe like you're like
they would have to like
risking
time an
a.
up smash to the downer or something, but
You're right, but like even yeah, you're right. But that would be hard though. I believe that's more of like good Steve play. But then I believe it would be difficult. You would be like sacrificing like advantage to like get materials, which is like to like avoid them getting materials, which is still broken for Steve. I don't believe that's tenable though. I believe it's broken though. I believe planking is broken. That's like a lot. It's really good.
all right, I think that's fair. Apart from all the Steve controversy, though, did you guys enjoy Cavalier Clash? A good event, all that stuff. I don't
I
know if you
really
watched it
liked
that
it.
much,
For me,
I liked it.
he liked it.
I liked it.
but yeah, I can imagine why you liked it, Spectre.
One of the things that really surprised me was the fact that when Spargo and Syrup were about to play and Syrup like chooses Ness, like in the Twitch chat, like the odds of like Syrup winning was 99-1. Like 99% Spargo, 1% Syrup,
Oh,
and
so
Syrup wins it.
they had like 100x payout or whatever for the syrup winners.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
I genuinely find interesting because even though I probably would have guessed Spargo wins too, but in I think it was that Riptide Syrup played Ness as well.
Mhm.
Or I think he went Steve, got farmed, then picked Ness, and then I don't remember how it went, but I know he won game two or three, and then I think he barely lost game three and went back to Steve. But he had two extremely close games, if I remember correctly,
That's
against Ness Cloud. Maybe just people just didn't remember that, or I don't know. I don't feel like it was
It
that
was like
much.
that much of a difference. I agree.
Yeah, I don't think it was that much. I think it's a pretty volatile matchup too.
Yeah,
Definitely.
I believe that like edge guarding, like how like I believe Cloud should like dominate neutral. What do you think, Spectre? I don't know that much of that matchup. Like own like views, you know. Like I don't play Cloud. I will play Ness.
Yeah, I think it's -1. I think Ness has a pretty hard time in neutral just because you can't like. You kind of have to throw out something preemptively to catch where Cloud's going. But if you have a good Cloud, obviously you can't really do that very easily. So you kind of have to like fish for a corner carry or like an edge guard, and then that's like all Ness has is like the edge guard. That's how you win, you know. Um, which is why I feel like it's pretty volatile because you have. I used to think a lot of characters like Aegis or Lucina are like hard -2s, and then I get a little bit better, and then I realize I should just throw them off stage, you know. And then it's like -1, maybe. Yeah, literally, like I used to think Roy was like -2, and then I'm like, okay, I'll just throw him off stage and kill him. Now it's like even.
Yeah.
I think stuff like that.
Same with me. Roy is like really weird because like sometimes I feel like neutral is so helpless, and then like I throw it away. I auto run into the jump and he's dead. Which is always great. Then like there was also another big tournament like this weekend.
Yeah, Luminosity Madness was also this weekend. We can talk about
that.
I had it written down.
Really crazy. The fact that like it happened, it's kind of crazy. Like I'm pretty sure that like Luminosity had like a little bit of like a controversy because they put like the event like at the same day as this Cavalier Clash.
Is that the first time that's happened?
I am not sure.
Probably not, but in this case, it was just Cavalier Clash had been scheduled for like 6 months to a year already. I'm pretty sure, and then Luminosity, and then Luminosity announces their event like 2 months before it happens. 2 months before it happens, and a lot of like
that reminds me of like
really upset at Luminosity for scheduling their event over theirs, and I can kind of see why, because if Luminosity flies out their players to Cavalier Clash, that's like an S or maybe even a P tier.
Yeah.
which kind of sucks. But it was also kind of cool to have two NA big tournaments in the same weekend and be able to watch both of them because they were offset from each other because Cavalier Clash top 8 happened like 3 or 4 hours before the top 16 of Luminosity Madness started. So
Yeah.
I watched like Cavalier
It's
Clash top
weird.
8 into Luminosity Madness like top 12. Pretty fun event overall to watch. Tweak ended up winning pretty dominantly. He didn't really struggle that much. So congrats to Tweak on that W.
Hmm.
And something you wanted to talk about, RD, was the Tweak effect. Do you want to expand on that a little?
I wanted to talk about this for a while. Okay, something that I've been like seeing like lately is that like Tweak winning a tournament, it's like equivalent to the fact that there's no Steve in the tournament. LMBM last year, he won.
Yeah.
No Steve. LMMM, no Steve. And this Cavalier Clash, even though like Steve was like legal and whatever, the other tournament that was happening at the same time is the most dominant Steve prevalent like bracket ever. So basically, that leaves zero like notable Steves for Luminosity Madness.
Yeah, I think Riku was
Yeah.
the best Steve there, and he got like 17th.
Yeah, like almost
Yeah.
nothing. Even though I believe that like Syrup has played Tweak a lot, and I'm pretty sure that like Tweak has beaten Syrup before in some like small tournament
Beat
or
him
like
at
small.
Gommel, I think, and the Tweak won that tournament. I think Tweak beat Syrup at Gommel, and Tweak won that tournament.
You're right, but that's like one instance, and that's what. When was Gommel X?
That was
Was this last year?
Last
Yeah.
July.
Huh?
That was,
Last July.
Yep.
Yeah, last July. I believe that like that's one win over the escapes of like
August or
possibilities, where like you have a cola, where you have now like Syrup again, even though like now he's like way more dominant than July of
Syrup might be
2024.
the best player in the States now. He's improved a lot.
Yeah, without a doubt. I believe like right now he should be the best in the US. And
Obviously, like
And,
Anand
like-
and like all the other Steves too. Like, it's.
yeah,
I will
I
say
believe Tweak.
when I heard you bring up the Tweak effect, I checked the brackets that Tweak won recently, like which was obviously Luminosity Madness, Miami, Let's Make Moves Miami, Miami, Gommel, LMBM last year. And something I noticed was that he's playing Sonics in winners finals of like all these tournaments, and I was
In
like,
all these tournaments, right?
Sonics is taking out all the Steves for him, and I think in all those events he actually played Sonics and Grands too. Besides
Yeah.
Madness, where you played Mutates and Grand instead, but Sonics is still in top 3.
Mhm.
So like I think it maybe
Yeah,
it's like
I
partly
believe-
like some of the other players are taking out the Steves for him, and Tweak's just capitalizing on it. But
I understand that, but also like if we put into perspective, the 50%. No, like if we don't count Luminosity Madness as like a major because it was a B plus, even though like probably like it will be re-tiered to A like eventually if like someone gets more points or stuff like that like in the future, but like still, if you take that into account, 66% or 67% of the tournaments, big tournaments, Tweak has won. Steve was not in the equation, like at all. And in those 3 tournaments that he won, only one set was against Steve,
yeah,
which in my opinion is crazy. Like he didn't have like I don't wanna like sound like trying to like create some like controversy, but there's this that like Tweak is probably like the number one like one of the biggest like complainers about Steve, and he has like talked about it a lot like in many like in his podcast and like also like in Lights Out, like that's one of the biggest thing. But like all of like the wins that he has especially are not against like Steve in particular.
something I want to bring
and
up
we
before
have
we continue. I'm sorry, is that LMBM last year and Let's Make Moves Miami had Steve banned, so that's also part of it.
Yeah.
So
LMBM and
Like,
LMMM, that both
Tweak-
tournaments that Tweak wins are banned. Like Steve is banned.
yeah, Tweak definitely like an amazing player. I mean, I'm not trying to say anything bad about him, but I think he has. I think he has taken advantage of his opportunities when he doesn't have to play against Steve because he's one of the best players in the world, obviously. But I do think he's good enough to where he can figure it out if he wants to and then beat Steve because he's beat Steve, but he just doesn't do it consistently.
I agree. So also like there's videos of him like when Akola beat him in What's the Throne, which was in my opinion really disheartening. That when they like when they changed cameras to the player cameras and Tweak like got mad.
That was tragic.
It really was. Like, I believe that Tweak is the type of player that like knows how to take their opportunities. Amazing player, top 10 player in the world without a doubt. I don't know if right now maybe he is after this win, but still it is something that has to be taken into account that Tweak is a player that every time he has been like in the top of the top, Steve was not in the equation, which in my opinion is really big. But also talking about Steve, not about Steve, but talking about another character that can touch you at 0 and kill you. Let's talk about Mutace.
I love Mutace. I just wanted to put him in here for like the Mutace appreciation. That guy is awesome.
Yeah,
I love watching him play so much.
I agree.
He beat some like really hard matchups too. He beat MISU twice. He beat Mars. He beat Sonics. But dude, watching him play, it's just like he can when his hands are online because he does have hand issues sometimes, but he does just kill people randomly. Like I don't know if you guys saw the clip of him killing Meister at 0 off the upper chain into up B.
It's crazy. I saw that. That was crazy. I don't know what to say. Mutace has always been like the type of player to like just destroy you sometimes. He got second at Genesis like 2 years ago. Like even though like seems far off, getting second at Genesis is not something that people should forget. Like Genesis is still Genesis, and I don't know. Mutace is so dominant when he like can.
Yeah, I 100% agree. I just wanted to throw in some Mutace appreciation. And then another player I wanted to highlight really quick is just Void competed and got 13th at that tournament.
Yeah, which is great.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
I don't know if he beat anyone like that good. But he was in the top 16.
I remember like he like took a game of Sonics and popped off.
Yeah.
That was really funny.
I think that was really funny. Like really wanted to and like play in grinded ultimate, he could get like top 30, top 20 status with Sheik if he really wanted to. I just don't think he wants to grind ultimate like that. He'll do it for like the Luminosity team and stuff like that, but
he beat Spargo when he wasn't even playing ultimate.
Yeah. Did you remember that?
That's like my favorite set ever. That was so fun. That was
at the last summit, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was the last summit. Yeah. Which,
that was 2 years ago now.
Damn. Bro, also like talking about like last summits, I wanted to say like Luminosity Madness was really great to watch still. Like I believe it's a time of like, even though like I am saying that like Tweak has like not won without Steve and stuff like that, seeing Tweak is always great. Like Tweak is such a player that like when you watch it and like understand what he's doing is crazy. It is all crazy. But still I believe that Cavalier Clash takes the cake for the tournament of the weekend without a doubt.
I agree. So, I had more fun watching Cavalier Clash than Luminosity Madness personally. But but still both were great events. I liked watching them both. Yeah.
It was really great. I don't know. It also like in my opinion like gives a lot into perspective like what is like having Syrup, like a player that like you can count like not with your hands, right? Like how many players have won a major? I'm pretty sure like you don't have many. I'm pretty sure you don't have many. You have like
the entirety of Ultimate?
Yeah, like 40, 50?
Yeah, I think it's
probably
like
under 50.
I think it's like 20, 30.
Yeah, probably. How many?
I think it's like 20, 30.
20, 30? That's crazy. Really, like, besides, like, some, like, one-offs, like Mr. H4, that won, like, a major on Japan, which was, in my opinion, crazy, too. You have to understand that, like, a win on a major is something to, like, celebrate a lot. Like, a major win is a major win, and I'm pretty sure this is the first major that Syrup has won. So that's a big win. That's always amazing.
Downplay how big of an how big of a deal it is to win. First of all, like getting first is a big deal, and how big of an accomplishment it is. And I think people just take it for granted. To be honest, majors are special, and the winner should be appreciated. But
yeah, without a doubt, the character they play, it doesn't really matter. Winning a major, it means that you were better than like 300 people, 350 people, and not only that you're like there. You know, like major is a major. You're like already there. Syrup with like number 14 in the world, if I'm not wrong.
Sierra's
Like
top
Yeah.
13. I don't remember exactly where he was, but
I'm pretty sure he was top 14.
oh,
Like, right?
yeah,
He was the
Sierra's
best.
top 15. Sorry, I thought you said Shiny Mark for some reason.
Shiny Mark. By the way, Shiny Mark also great. It's always nice to see Latinos doing well. But
Yeah,
like,
he did good. Shiny Mark's run was kind of sad, like, cause he lost pretty early. I think he lost to Zelda. Free K Flock. He's
oh
probably the
yeah,
best
he lost to
Zelda.
free K Flock. By the way,
What the fuck?
that was
Um,
crazy too. Crazy upset.
he's probably like low key one of like the best hidden bosses in the world. I feel like people don't talk about him, but he just casually gets like top 50 wins like every other week with Zelda, and I think Zelda's
Yeah,
garbage. So
free
like
K
that's
Flock.
super impressive to me.
Yeah, in my opinion, Zelda is garbage too. But not only that, but like also you have like this like certain level of like players that like just like appear from nowhere, and they are like capable to like taking out like top 50 players that like play low tiers. That they play like low tiers,
Yeah.
like Toriguri with Banjo, now Free K Flock with Zelda, and obviously my goat Embo Z with Duck Hunt. I remember like those type of players that just like sometimes appear with like their low tier and just like win.
Jja.
Jaja, my goat.
Um, but yeah, Shiny Mark also got top 8. That was cool. Yeah, no, it was just a fun event. 'Cause, like a lot of like my favorite players to watch were like Light, Cola, Spargo. We're all at that tournament. So,
Yep.
but yeah, regarding Cavalier Clash 6 and Luminosity Madness, great events. Do you guys have anything else like you want to talk about really quick before we get to the end here?
I wanted to say that like, oof, we will talk about this. I believe that Spargo right now he's like in a position where like in my opinion is still the best player in the world. He just needs to lock in. I'm pretty sure that like he goes to like a big tournament and he locks in, he's like he can demonstrate that.
Yeah.
Like skill wise.
Yeah, I don't think Spargo's going anywhere, to be honest. I think people are just freaking out because he's like, oh man, he got third and he got fourth. I'm like, getting third and fourth is still good placing, is my opinion. So
Yeah.
Spargo will be
I believe that like I believe this season maybe might not be his season, especially with like the strong season that like Hurt is doing, that Akola is doing, and that Mia is doing currently too. Even though like I don't think like Mia is also like in that good of a run, I still believe that like Spargo has to lock in. Spargo is it's like probably skill wise, I believe like he's like far off the best player in the world, and he just needs to like keep going. He's a great player.
Yeah.
I believe that. I believe like I think that's
all right. Any last second shout outs before we sign off, guys? One quick thing I want to bring up is the Hungry Games happened yesterday. That episode was already packed. We're not going to talk about it in this episode, but we're going to acknowledge it that it did happen. We're going to talk about it next week. We're going to talk about Anand and some other people who did well. So we're going to that for next week. And
also, I want to talk about the fact that the tournament back in Peru, El Gran Nacional just got C tier ranked, which is gonna be amazing. I'm gonna go to that tournament in March 23rd. So like, if you want to see this pretty face playing the game for real, and probably beating Leon, I'm pretty sure I can beat him. You can see me in El Gran Nacional made by ITD, which means like Infinity Team on Depths. It's gonna be a great tournament, and basically that it's gonna be great. I'm really happy that we got a C tier back there in Peru.
That's awesome. I'm happy for you guys. Spectre, you got anything else?
Yeah. No, I don't think so.
Right.
Ready for next week.
All right. Well,
yeah.
Thank you everyone who tuned in to the podcast this week on stream. This spot is going to be uploaded to YouTube afterward, so you guys can check it out there if you want to like rewatch it for any reason or miss some part of the earlier stream. But for now, I've been Lilac. These are my friends Arky and Spectre, and we'll see you guys next Thursday, same time. Hopefully with finesse.
Yeah.